And we are live. Hello, everyone. This is My Two Cents, and welcome to the December Patrons Hangout. Right now, I'm only joined by Nate the Voluntarist, although I've got at least one other person who says they're coming. And as always, we'll let the stream roll and see who all shows up. But this is just kind of an informal time to say thank you to all the awesome people who support my channel and talk about whatever's on their minds. And as always, we'll keep an eye on the chat, too, for those of you who aren't patrons that want to participate as well. So, quick, put it, Nate, you're the first one to show up. Anything on your mind lately?
Well, I just made a meme lately.
Oh, okay.
And it's been, yeah, and I definitely, and oh my goodness, I am surprised at the amount of attention it's getting. So, it's a meme of Geezer Butler. He is the original bassist from Black Sabbath. And I found an interview where he was asked about politics, and here's what he had to say. It's almost pointless voting anymore because it seems to be the same no matter what party or politics you stand for. It all seems corrupted to me. It's all the same old people that rule the world. So,
can you screen share the meme?
Sure. Let me see if I can. Let me pull it up real quick.
JC Armitage, hello. Tinseltown Queen, hello. Zachary Colley, hello.
All right.
Good to see people queuing up in the chat. And yes, Merry Christmas to everyone. It is that time of year. Hope everyone is, spreading Christmas cheer as they go about their daily business. I know I've been insanely busy. Got like one more week and then maybe things will slow down a little bit, but boy.
It seems I cannot screen share it for whatever reason.
All right, no problem. You have it on your Instagram or?
It's on my Twitter. I can retweet it.
Okay. Everybody check out Nate's Twitter feed if they want to see the meme.
I also have a pinned a meme that I made of Ozzy Osbourne where he says, I don't have time for politics. Politicians don't understand me, and I don't understand them. Hey, good for him.
Indeed.
He's never donated any money to politicians. He's never publicly endorsed a candidate. He absolutely nothing political from him.
Not afraid to say I don't care.
Yeah. So there you go. Though, if you want to hear his views, then listen to his music.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Although for all those who write music, I mean, I don't know. Most musicians these days seem unable to not get into the political sphere for some reason. But people who actually write music, it's most of them say that's the way they express themselves. So it would make sense that their political views would come out in their music.
Yeah, definitely.
On that note, go ahead.
I just retweeted the tweet, so hopefully you guys can find it.
Okay, on that note, I think I saw something on my Twitter feed today about Taylor Swift complaining that George Soros had bought the rights to all her music. I didn't click on it, so I have no idea if that's legit or not, but you know what? I'm going to Google that right now and just find out.
I mean, if she's bashing George Soros, then I guess that's a good thing. I don't know.
Let's see. I'm going to Google Taylor Swift. Plus George Soros. Taylor Swift calls out George Soros for investing in her music without her consent, from RT News. Yeah, 14 December, updated 21 hours ago. In a 1-2 combo, pop megastar Taylor Swift has attacked billionaire liberal. Oh, wait, hang on just a second. We got another patron joining here. Pipsqueak, hello. Pipsqueak, hello. Can you hear us?
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I can hear you now. All right, where I left off. In a 1-2 combo, pop megastar Taylor Swift has attacked billionaire liberal financier George Soros and, quote, toxic male privilege in the music industry, claiming that Soros got his hands on her back catalog without her consent. In a speech following her acceptance of the Billboard Women of the Decade Award on Thursday, Swift reignited her feud with investor Scooter Braun, who bought up Swift's original record label, Big Machine Label Group, in a $300 million deal earlier this summer.
Makes me want to get rid of my Taylor Swift CDs.
Oh, I already didn't like Taylor Swift, but it only gets worse over time.
I only liked her as a country rock pop star, but after she abandoned country music, I quit listening to her. So, yeah. At this point, just...
Have I ever told you my story about Taylor Swift?
No, I don't. Oh. I don't think I've heard it.
Okay, because I think this has come up on a previous stream. I actually went to college with a guy who, I can't confirm the veracity of this story, but I went to college with a guy who claimed he went to high school with Taylor Swift. I can confirm they grew up in the same general area, but his claim is that her story about how she was unpopular in high school and all that stuff is total crap. He says she was one of those cheerleader types that was total bore to be around, but thought she was all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah.
Which doesn't surprise me given public behavior I've seen of hers.
Now I really want to get rid of the music I have of hers.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I can neither confirm nor deny the veracity of that story, but I went to college with a guy, he stuck to it, so. El Blido says, watch Filthy or My Two Cents. Decisions. So I see we're competing with Filthy Heretic for a stream.
He's doing the story stuff debunking.
Okay. Wait, is it a stream or are they premiering a video?
No, they're premiering a video and commenting on it.
Okay. All right, well, it's up to y'all, but... You'll probably learn more at his stream, but you'll have more fun here.
Yeah, Darkon actually put out a Twitter poll asking which is the best stream. He had my stream, S-Man, and two others that I can't name right now. And apparently, I managed to get first place.
Well, good for you, Nate. You have had the most high-profile guests on your stream. I'll say that.
I've had 7 so far. Hard to believe that I've managed to get the people that were able to come on. So it's actually nice to know that all these guys were willing to come on and talk with us.
Oh yeah.
So. And it's hard for me to believe that I was able to get a politician on my show.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that one.
I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how, but...
Apparently he had enough time on his hands.
Yeah, and don't be surprised if I'm able to get Ron Paul on.
Really? Did you contact him?
Not yet. I'm trying to find his email.
Okay.
So I might be able to contact his son. We'll see. So we'll see how that all goes. But in the meantime, I've got Stefan Kinsella, let's see, Brian Kaplan, and probably Victor Common coming on in the future. We'll see how it all goes, but I'm not going to contact anybody else because I've got too many people in line. So, yeah.
Okay. If I had more time, I might try to get more people on my streams, but I'm hardly able to schedule them an hour in advance as it is. So. And have time to make my videos, just run my business, do my job, everything else. Ugh.
Yeah, I do have a show tomorrow.
Okay.
It'll be my last show for 2019. So.
Okay. Are you gonna do one of those year in review things, or what are your plans?
There is a guest that I'm trying to have back on, because I haven't had him on in a long time. If you check out his Twitter, it is absolutely hilarious, because if somebody says something stupid, he will be on top of he'll be on top of them because he's like one of the best debunkers you will ever see.
Okay.
And he's funny too, so that's even better. I do have a topic in place if he is able to come on, though. If he's not able to come on, then I'll have to try to figure something out. We'll see. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I should let everyone know I'm actually going to have to delay this week's video. It probably won't come out till Monday or Tuesday. But right now I'm working on a response to the whole ban porn controversy that's come up this week. So with as much Twitter engagement that it had, I figured I couldn't let it pass without making a video.
When are we going to get over this? Ban this, I don't like it, or ban this because I think it's bad, or, you know, whatever it is. It's not just porn, it's also drugs, alcohol, among many other things that I can think of.
But what gets me is a lot of the, you know, so-called small government conservatives who are coming out in favor of banning porn. I've not heard many of them talk about how exactly they envision this taking place. Because just for the sake of argument, let's imagine the United States successfully does ban porn. How is this going to be enforced? Most porn is consumed through the internet, which means that you would have to either shut down any website that's based within the United States that hosts porn. But of course, there are plenty of websites outside the United States that the U.S. would have no jurisdiction to do anything about. And with VPNs and all other technology that exists, it would be incredible. It would be unenforceable in its current form to stop people from looking at porn. So the only thing I can think of is you'd have to have some kind of system like they have in Kazakhstan or one of those countries where every computer that's sold in the country comes pre-equipped with a device on it that allows the government to watch all of your internet history.
Right.
Which, right. I mean, maybe somebody else out there has thought of something else, but I'm thinking in order for the government to meaningfully ban porn on the internet and actually be able to enforce it, the only way I can think of is to give monitoring access, unfettered internet traffic monitoring access to the government, which all the people I know of who are supporting the ban porn are the kind of people who would say that that's totally invasive and outside the government's jurisdiction. But,
well, people like Hillary Clinton are even worse because when she was senator, she supported this communications bill that would jail parents because their kids were looking at porn. I mean,
yes.
Ugh.
And then have them raised by, you know, who knows what kind of state indoctrinators.
Yep. There you go. Luckily, that bill never saw the light of day. So. Mm-hmm. And Zach, I know you're asking about Eric July. That's going to take a long time because he doesn't appear on small-time stuff anymore. So just wanted to throw that out there.
JC Armitage says, porn ban, yeah, how well did that work out with alcohol in the roaring 20s? And how is that working today with drugs and guns?
Yeah, it's hard to believe that we figured it out in 14 years, I believe, when alcohol was banned. And then now we have a war on drugs, which is about 50 years old now. And it's like we're repeating. It's like, let's try prohibiting this. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, let's try. It's a never-ending cycle. And it's almost as if people don't learn from the lessons that occur under these prohibitions.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, if anything you prohibit immediately creates a black market for that thing, which in and of itself doesn't prove that that the ban is unjustified. I mean, you could say that there's a black market for hitmen too, but obviously, even so, murder is morally wrong and a violation of the non-aggression principle. But when it's a victimless crime, in cases of alcohol, drugs, those are still physical goods that have to be physically distributed one way or another. But when it goes to, when you're trying to ban something that's entirely digital, like pornography, as I just said, the only way you're going to be able to enforce that is to give the government complete and total access to monitor internet traffic, which, when you consider that, it's not surprising at all that politicians are in favor of banning porn. But I have to wonder, like, the so-called conservatives who are supporting the porn ban, have they thought about it at all, or what's their solution? I'd really like to know.
And even when you try regulating it, it still doesn't do any good. Basically, I mean, you gotta. This is another case of where you gotta let the market handle it.
Pipsqueak, you have any thoughts?
No, I've got nothing to add that you haven't already gone over.
All right. Well, anything you wanted to discuss?
Idea and people should... not sure.
All right. Well, I guess I'll put it to the folks in the chat then. And if there's anything anyone wants to talk about, nothing is off limits. This is just a chill stream. As always, if we run out of stuff to talk about, I'm just going to start going through my Twitter feed and finding something worth.
I actually retweeted a tweet from my latest special guest.
Okay.
That you might find interesting. He says, "What is politics? We can often better understand a word by breaking it down into its competent parts. Poly, a Greek word meaning many, ticks, an English word meaning blood-sucking creatures. So politics basically means altogether many blood-sucking creatures."
So far, all I'm seeing is a bunch of stuff about President Trump being at the Army-Navy football game.
Kind of reminds me of the news reporting that Obama went out, played golf with President Clinton. I don't know. Usually stuff like that, it's like, I don't care. Honestly.
Oh, look who joined us. Dark Khan, what's up?
Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, 3.
We can hear you. Welcome, Dark Khan.
I got a new microphone. Yeah, that's why that I was all like testing 1, 2, 3.
Sounds great.
No, yeah, it sounds really good.
I'm going to turn on my camera very quickly to show it. I got a just a tank top on right now, but
oh, that's a nice mic.
That does look very nice.
yeah, I was given like basically an Employee of the Year reward by my manager, so that was pretty sweet. Starting a new thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was actually chosen for Employee of the Year.
Good for you.
Give me a new mic.
Must be working hard.
You guys were talking about the porn ban that some like very socially conservative people are advocating for.
Yes, I did, and I would say some. I wouldn't even say very socially conservative, because I've seen some commentators that I would have said are more libertarian leaning, even, that are still for it.
Wait a minute. Libertarian leaning people who are for a porn ban?
What? Yes, let's say conservative commentators who I thought to be libertarian leaning. For example, Roaming Millennial, Michael Knowles, those types.
I know that Ben Shapiro. I mean, he had kind of almost a roundabout way of saying it, but I watched his episode on pornography where it was just the first 30 minutes. Like the rest of it was about impeachment news and other stuff. But the one that he entitled About Porn, he had this, like I said, roundabout way of saying it. But basically, it seemed like he was against banning porn. Like he thinks that it's bad and whatnot. And some people might even think that he has some kind of, I guess, one could say, boomer takes, supposedly, about the morality of porn and whatnot. But overall, he didn't want to ban it. I'm disappointed that Matt Walsh is for it, because I kind of liked Matt Walsh, honestly. In fact, I listened to him more than Andrew Klavan, and definitely more than Michael Knowles. I don't like Michael Knowles hardly at all, because his personality is a complete and utter turnoff, and yeah, that kind of stuff. He just brown noses for Trump a whole lot more than anyone else on the Daily Wire. Shapiro is the most critical of Trump out of all them four, but yeah.
Yeah, I also listened to Shapiro's segment on ban porn. He's absolutely right. Again, that's not to say I always agree with Ben Shapiro, but on that one, I definitely do.
It's a pretty good
JC
episode,
Armitage
too,
points
by
out that the website Gab, which has touted itself as the free speech Twitter alternative, has been tweeting all kinds of stuff about how they support a porn ban.
Yep. Probably not going to be very active on there from now on. I do have a Gab account, although I only have one follower, really. The other followers that I have are some vague websites or organizations or something that I think just have a follow bot to them. But aside from that, I only have like Reckless Trucker following me on there. I tried to like tag Bearing and to try to shoot the shit with him. Did not know if you still had the no cussing policy on here.
I don't really care at this point. Originally, I had the no cussing policy because YouTube auto demonetized anything the moment you had one swear word. But since with this new YouTube terms of service, I've just given up. So don't worry about it. Cuss as much as you'd like.
Not to mention Kappa.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, fuckity fuck. Let me give the guarantee that Kappa isn't going to take down the stream then.
Let me make a formal announcement. This stream is not targeted to viewers under the age of 13, nor are any video on my channel. Screw you, whoever's reviewing the video.
Yes, even though all four of us have cartoon avatars.
Hey, South Park is a cartoon show, but it's absolutely not for kids.
We'll tell that to all the boomers who only have like dipped their toes in the internet and haven't really dived into it.
Yeah.
On the note, I mean, I already announced it a couple videos ago, but I don't even see YouTube as my primary platform anymore. Right now, it's BitChute and BitTubers, because with YouTube's new policies in place, it's only a matter of time before all our channels disappear. And as it is, channel growth has completely stalled for me, and I know even for a lot bigger channels, it's completely stalled. And the reason obviously is because when you search anything on YouTube anymore, all you get is 3 pages of CNN and MSNBC before you get any independent content creators. So if you are an independent content creator, your stuff doesn't show up in searches. And if your stuff doesn't show up in searches, you can't grow. Because I mean, for a long time, just think about how many people you've subscribed to over the years you've used YouTube. It usually goes something like you were searching for a video, something came up, you watch the video, and you say, oh, I like this video, and then you look in the suggested videos, you see a couple other videos by that same creator, so you click on those, oh, I like that video too, and then maybe 2 or 3 videos in, I like this creator, I subscribe. But now, when you search anything on YouTube, you never get an independent content creator, and even when you do find it, and click on their video, the suggested videos are all CNN and MSNBC. So the whole system by which you found creators you like and subscribe just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I'm thinking about mostly going on Gab. I'm not going to completely devolve away from YouTube, kind of like what Nate has mostly done. Like he uses this platform mostly just for streaming and then privates the streams, but I mean, not a knock against you, Nate. I mean, it's your prerogative, but basically what I think I'm going to do is like just do my streaming on YouTube as well, and also do like a few news highlights, leave a few news highlights and whatnot on my channel, just so that maybe my YouTube channel can retain some growth, and maybe even bring people's attention on YouTube to my BitChute account, where most, if not all, of my response videos are going to be uploaded to. Because those I think are going to be the things most likely to get hit by, not only just because of COPPA, but because of also YouTube's freaking anti-harassment policy, new anti-harassment policy that they're instituting.
Yeah.
That's probably even a bigger kick in the pants than even COPPA, because at least with COPPA, YouTube is just being a kind of dishonest with the whole general audience exception. But with freaking the anti-harassment shit, I mean, you have you have iDubbbz, who is basically bullying, quote unquote, a quote unquote bully, that being Leafy is here. So that raises the question: is like making response videos to freaking liars and slanderers does that include harassment and therefore should be taken down off of YouTube? That's utter bullcrap right there. And Lord knows that I have some anti-liar drama type videos on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
And,
on the subject of Kappa, did anyone see that queer kid stuff finally threw in the towel?
Yay! No. I've vaguely heard about it, but I cannot.
Yeah, Lindsay Ammer, the non-binary whatever she is, with her teddy bear teaching kids about homosexual stuff, announced on Twitter that she is no longer going to be doing queer kid stuff. And I can't help but wonder if it had to do with the fact with Kappa being in place, she knew she's making sexual content that's geared towards children, and she knew she was toast.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah. The last video that was on Queer Kid stuff was her with a bunch of other LGBT, XYZ, whatevers, announcing that they were suing YouTube for being discriminated against. But then now, a couple months later, she's made nothing else, and she announced on Twitter that she's quit.
By the way, Zachary Colley in the chat, he asks, "What's the quip about Christian Minecraft servers about?" And that's my question too. How did that famous saying, come about to be a thing? Anyways,
I don't know. All I know is that people told me that I have a Christian Minecraft server because I asked that people not cuss on my streams.
It's kind of what? Okay, it's kind of self-explanatory. There will be no swearing on my Christian Minecraft server. That was a thing that actually happened. I remember those. It's become just a joke now. Nobody took it seriously.
Right. I'm pretty sure I've got a saved image on my computer of this. Mate, this is an Australian server. You're not swearing enough.
All right, Zachary Colley, in response to the Queer Kid stuff, has quit, says, "Somebody pull out the ale and punch. Celebrate good times. Come on."
That is that is lovely.
Sorry, couldn't resist.
There's something that I wanted to say. Oh, what was that you just said, Pipsqueak? I felt like there was something I wanted to say in extension of what you just said.
Oh, this is an Australian server. You're not swearing enough.
Oh wait, no. Now I remember what I wanted to say. Does anybody remember freaking Roblox?
No.
I know of it, but I
know of it.
Oh, I used to play Roblox when I was a whole lot younger. And they had like an explicit no cursing policy, although it didn't get like as much enforced like when you're like in game and chatting with people. But when it came to like messaging people in DMs or whatever, like outside of actually playing the game, Roblox would like penalize your account for cursing and whatnot. So anyway, how are y'all doing today?
Oh, just lovely.
I'm doing great.
Can't wait for this upcoming week to be over. My schedule will hopefully slow down a little bit as we get into the Christmas season, but still got to make it through this week.
Wait. Cody Ferret in the chat says, banning is gay, hence why social conservatives ban stuff. Are you implying that conservatives are gay? But by the way, I could go on other platforms if I make my own channel profile. I don't really care about the money. I mean, okay, yeah, actually, that kind of brings up another thing when it comes to YouTube. I mean, forget the adpocalypses. Like, people, like, they were right. They were in the right, I think, to, like, throw a fit about the adpocalypse thing. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't even really compare to the recent shit that has been, like, boiling up within the last couple of months for YouTube. Because at least when they had just their revenue taken away, they could, like, compensate that with hey, donate to my Patreon and whatnot and stuff like that, instead of asking for sponsors and so forth. But now they're going to like prevent people from uploading content on the most mainstream video uploading platform on the internet now entirely. That's probably the bigger disappointment than, well, at least for more small time people anyways, that look at this as more of a hobby, definitely. But even for larger content creators who look to make a buck off of this.
Well, if you think about it, for the larger content creators who actually do this for a living, most the major content creators, or I guess not even major, just major, but content creators in general have, 4 ways you can make money. There's the ad revenue, there's Patreon, Subscribestar, crowdfunding, there's merchandise, and there's sponsorships. Prior to the adpocalypse, I know like Dave Cullen has talked about this on Of Computing Forever. Prior to the adpocalypse, his primary source of income was ad revenue, along with Patreon and sponsorships. Now, after post adpocalypse, he makes almost nothing from ad revenue. And his primary income is entirely crowdfunding and sponsorships. But sponsorships are only going to, they pay you based on how many views you get and whether or not people download their app or buy their product after they advertise with you. And if you can't advertise on a platform that's large enough that it's, and with a large enough demographic basis where their ads are actually going to have a meaningful impact for people buying their products, they're going to be less likely to give you sponsorships. Like right now, I see, even with as much as BitChute is growing, I doubt most sponsorships are going to want to pay to sponsor a video if that video is only going to be hosted on BitChute. So that's why I say everyone needs you need to start supporting these growing alt tech platforms. I know none of them are perfect. Last week when I did my BitTubers exclusive, I did get a number of complaints that BitTubers isn't the greatest functioning website, and I know it's not. BitChute isn't either. But if they're ever going to make it there, we got to get more views. It's the more they grow, the more people invest, and the more people invest, the better they can make the website. So it's not like YouTube didn't have problems in its early days.
BitChute is actually. I was just going to say BitChute has had a lot of activity going on lately. It's actually been growing significantly this month.
Yeah, I've even seen some considerable growth in my channel as well. I mean, it's grown a little bit faster than my channel did, like way back in early 2017 and late 2016, because I just uploaded like the one video about Chick-fil-A, my commentary on Chick-fil-A cutting off their funds for supposed anti-LGBT groups, and that gained me like 3 subscribers from that upload alone. And then I uploaded another news highlight talking about government-induced power outages in California, and that gained me like another 6-7 subscribers on that platform. And they're doing fairly well in the views. Apparently that's the route that I need to do, is upload more news highlight videos. Excuse me.
I've personally had the most luck with BitTubers. Right now, I've been getting most of the videos I've been uploading to BitTubers are getting a minimum of about 1,000 views, and maximum one's already gotten 4,600. So,
wow. Okay, www.bittubers.com.
Yeah, for all those watching, if you haven't subscribed to me on BitTubers yet, I recommend it. The search features on BitTubers are working better than BitChute, in my opinion. Plus, they have the system where you earn cryptocurrency, the tube, just for using the website, and then you can donate that to your favorite creators on the website. Obviously, the tube is worth almost nothing right now, and as far as cryptocurrencies go, it isn't great. But it's in principle, I like the model.
I'm not so sure of how I like the setup of the videos being displayed that you can click on and whatnot. I mean, I don't know. It needs more color, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I said, none of these websites are perfect, but better that we get there now than wake up one day and your channel's gone.
I mean, the more support they get, the better they get. So, YouTube started off kind of wacky, and then it got better over time.
Mm-hmm.
As far as format and setup goes, and then they took a dip in the functionality of things ever since 2016-17.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to everybody this year. Apparently you have all been naughty to Santa, and by Santa I mean YouTube, and instead of giving you shit, that being like coal, instead they're taking away your precious gold, that being your channel and your money and all that stuff.
JC Armitage asked, what do you guys think about the Whiskey Warrior 556 situation? We actually talked about that on the last stream, and my answer is I still have not seen any independent journalists that have looked into that matter to get really the conclusive story to what's going on. But I would say the fact that the sheriff's department that arrested him put out conflicting narratives about exactly what was going on shows that somebody within the sheriff's department is lying, and that is not surprising at all.
So what do you guys think of the Black Widow movie that's going to be released?
I have not actually seen the trailer yet, but I heard there was one. Have you seen the trailer?
Yeah, I have. And apparently our pessimisms about how the director was going to make sure that there are no guns presented in that video, that Black Widow isn't going to be using guns. Apparently they were just that pessimisms, because it looks like, just looking at the trailer, that Black Widow and many other characters are going to be using firearms or other firearm type weapons, you know. It looks pretty legit just by looking at the trailers.
Okay. Well, I would say Marvel has made some great movies so far. I mean, they've made some not so great ones, although there haven't been any yet that I really hated. So,
what was your opinion of Captain Marvel?
I actually just recently watched that for the first time. I hate Brie Larson as a person. Let's just say that. But as far as Captain Marvel as a movie,
but you're a Christian. You're supposed to love everyone. No, I'm joking.
Yes. Well, as far as the movie goes, I thought it was decently entertaining. I mean, I had heard it was all like about feminism and female empowerment. Like, honestly, as far as the plot goes, I did see how it was in there, but I think Marvel was smart enough to know if they pushed that too hard, the movie would bomb. So
yeah, they didn't shoehorn it as much as Ghostbusters 2016 or Star Wars Force Awakens or Last Jedi and possibly Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
but it was still prevalent. And the biggest thing with Captain Marvel for me is that Captain Marvel, or at least Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, is not an interesting or fun character to watch. Like, the only character that was likable there was Nick Fury. But even then,
I would agree. The young version of Nick Fury was hilarious.
But even then, they kind of retconned Nick Fury, because in Winter Soldier, he said that he lost his eye because he put too much trust in his partner or something like that, as the YouTuber Mauler had presented in his unbridled meh of Captain Marvel. He's playing a clip of Winter Soldier, Captain America Winter Soldier, and said that he lost his eye because he put too much trust in his partner. But then fast forward many years, we have Captain Marvel made, and they retcon it to where, oh, it wasn't because of that, it was because he was having too much fun with the freaking cat, and the cat scratched his eye out. You just made fucking Nick Fury one of the most badass characters and charismatic characters in the entire MCU to be a puss while playing with a puss. Get it? Sorry, okay. I know, dad joke.
My eyes were diverted from the chat for a minute. Now all of a sudden people are talking about Frozen 2. So I have not seen Frozen 2, but people are debating whether or not it causes violence.
Oh man, yeah.
That's interesting.
The whole remember how the media was going on and on and on about how Joker was going to inspire some mass shooting or some BS?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think it was
those, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Shoe on Head, the YouTuber Shoe on Head. I saw she had a couple of tweets. She pointed out that CNN and Warner Brothers are owned by the same parent company. So the company that produced the Joker movie and the company that was running articles about how the movie was going to inspire a mass shooting are in fact owned by the same parent company. So one has to wonder if that whole narrative, if the movie was made so that the media could run the it'll cause violence narratives so that they could, create the controversy and drum up more interest and make more money, which pretty good theory if you ask me.
Sorry, I was looking at Discord there.
Okay, no problem.
Subjects to talk about. So much happening in the world, and I cannot decide on one to go off of. That would be a good segue.
Oh, of course. Of course, the mainstream media, all they talk about is impeachment lately, which is why it's so darn boring. You have to find any real news, you got to dig really hard, and I do not have the time to dig really hard most of the time.
Mahler is great, says Kimimura's backup account.
Mahler is great. And looks like we just lost Darkon.
Moment of silence, people. Press F.
I'm not sure what happened, but I'm sure Darkon will be back.
F at Darkon's net.
Suppose there was the UK elections popped up this week. That was hilarious to hear about. The Tories.
Brief respite. It's a brief respite from the impeachment goings on.
Yes.
I don't pay. This is why I don't pay much attention to news. It's just impeachment. Oh, finally something other than impeachment. It's UK election.
Yes.
Yeah.
Darkon's back. Hello.
Yep. Hi. If anybody wants, Washington Examiner kind of makes has a lot of articles that are more Trump news centric as well. But if anyone wants a website as an option to look for more informational pieces about, be it economics or something like that, I suggest go over to Washington Examiner, something like that. That's kind of one of the websites that I kind of rely on as far as my news goes. CNS News as well, but not as much nowadays.
I get all my news from Babylon B, the most trusted name in news that I have.
It's so trusted that PolitiFact had to fact check a Babylon B news story.
Yeah. They actually ran a story about the UK election. UK progressives are horrified as Boris Johnson lifts up the mask and reveals he's just a clone of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Here's something that that's worth mentioning. Peter Schiff is the only person I know of who's talking about this, but every commentator from even Ben Shapiro, who's the most prominent Trump critic of the right-wing figures I know of, or at least the ones I listen to, are talking about how wonderful the economy is doing right now and how it's the best economy we've ever had. So far, the only Peter Schiff isn't a commentator so much as he is an investment guru, but he's the only one I know of who's talking about the fact that the Fed is still cutting rates. And the chairman of the Fed has said that rates are going to stay where they are for the next year, at least. But Peter Schiff says he thinks they're going to cut them again, and I'm inclined to agree. We all know just a couple of weeks ago, Trump was criticizing the Fed for not cutting rates enough, even though he criticized Obama for doing the same thing. And what no one seems to want to talk about is, if the economy is really doing so well, why is the Fed still cutting rates? Because you do not cut rates when the economy is doing great. You cut rates when the economy is doing crappy. And, in the Keynesian theory, when the economy is doing horrible, you cut rates to create investment by printing more money and stimulate the economy, which of course only pushes everything into a bubble. So the fact that the Fed is cutting rates says whatever people want to say about how great the economy is doing right now. The fact that the Fed is cutting rates and says they won't raise rates shows we are in fact in a bubble, and it is going to pop.
Yeah, I guess Ben Shapiro is too much of a freaking ignorant normie in that kind of way. But I listen to it mostly for Washington news analyses of things. I mean, outside of that, if I want like broke down if I want the news more broke down, I'll go for some extra research into from other people, other articles, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. But that's one thing that gets me. It's proof that the Keynesian economic theory doesn't work, because in theory, according to the Keynesian theory, when the economy is doing horrible, the central bank cuts rates. New money is created, which creates investment, and it gets the economy. It stimulates economic growth again. Then, when the economy starts doing well again, you raise rates, increase taxes, pay back down the debt, and everything kind of goes back into equilibrium. But of course, since the economic growth that's stimulated by printing more money is all artificial, there aren't actually any real resources behind it. The Fed never can actually raise rates, because that would just prove that the growth, pop the bubble, prove that the growth wasn't real, and throw everything back into economic craziness. So what ends up happening, like in 2008, the Keynesians say, okay, we need to lower interest rates to almost nothing, stimulate economic growth, and get the country back on its feet. Well, for 10 years, we've been doing that. We've still been doing that. And now it's getting to the point where, I don't presume to know. Maybe it'll be in a month. Maybe it'll be in 6 months. Maybe it'll be in a year. But bottom line is the bubble always pops. And this time, there's going to be a hyperinflation, most likely. I mean, and heck, I don't have a crystal ball. Something else could happen, but I will be highly surprised if anything other than that does.
I'm actually reminded, Trump saying that the economy is doing better. I'm reminded of when Obama, before he was reelected, he was asked about the economy, and he actually said the economy's doing fine. So, as far as I'm concerned, if you hear somebody say the economy's doing fine, chances are they are another economic ignoramus. And Trump is another one of those.
Mm-hmm. I've gotten into at least 2 Twitter fights about this, and I've still not heard an answer from someone who understands it. But my question is, if the economy is doing so great, why is the Fed cutting rates? If somebody can give me a satisfactory answer to that, I will concede that Keynesianism works. But I've yet to hear one.
So, kind of off topic, but 2 cents. Wasn't there like talks of you and Night Shift doing a collab response against Progressive Voice or something?
Yes, there is, and Night Shift has still not sent me that video. I think he's been rather busy lately, because I asked him a couple times, when are we going to do our next collab, and he hasn't gotten back to me. So
that reminds me. I'm thinking about doing our collab after the holidays, since things have gotten kind of busy. So
okay,
things might calm down hopefully in January. So we'll see how that all goes. And then once I get that done, then Night Shift and I can hopefully get to our collab. So
yeah, I meant to at least start to working on editing my response video to Progressive Voice when it comes to Jesus's alleged communism. But unfortunately, I got into like this big argument on Discord with some people, and it ended up wasting about 3 hours of my evening. Oops.
Yeah. I do end up doing it every now and then, but I try as hard as is humanly possible. Do not get in Twitter debates or Discord debates. Reason being, they never end. It is a black hole from which you will never escape.
I.e., if you want an example of one that never ends, look at Eric July and Talib Kweli and Tom Woods. That debate went on for like 3 weeks, maybe a month. I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah. One of the ridiculous arguments that Talib came up was, you were talking about Trump. That means you are a Trump supporter. And it's like... for 3 whole weeks. Yeah, for 3 whole weeks, Talib just would not concede at all. I mean, he lost. He lost the whole debate, but man, that guy just won't concede. He literally just comes up with all these straw mans and all these no true Scotsman fallacies, and it just never ends with him. So word of advice: just don't do it. Just don't. And besides, I also had a cringe fest with a whole bunch of commies when I started on Twitter, and after that, I was like, I'm not doing that again. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. And also, they're getting smarter too, just so you all know, because they're hoping that you'll say something stupid, so that way they can report you to Twitter and have your Twitter suspended. And that's what happened to Night Shift.
So. Pity.
I mean, it's fun. It may be funny to watch a whole bunch of commies go ree, but leave them alone, please. Just leave the Marxists alone. All right, it's not worth it.
You all know how many fights that I've gotten in with Owen Cunt Donald.
Oh,
Yeah, certainly.
Did he block you?
Yeah, he did block me.
Oh, okay.
I got him to basically admit defeat. Although even then the fight kind of got dragged in other ways, but that's another story in of itself.
Mm-hmm.
To Martin Webb's comment about Jesus never existed, Richard Carrier proved it. I'm not sure if you're just trolling or if you're actually a Richard Carrier fan, but my question for you is this. Do you know what accredited university Richard Carrier is currently teaching at? All right, we'll wait to see if he responds to that.
I mean, what's the name of the all the governors and whatnot, all the non-biblical sources? God, for some reason I want to say Tiberius, but no, that's not it.
You're talking about extra biblical references to Jesus historically?
Yeah.
Tacitus, Pliny the Younger,
yes.
Lucian, Marbar Serpian.
Yeah, basically talking about the reports, like talking about the legend of
Okay, Martin Webb says, tell me. The answer is Richard Carrier is not teaching at an accredited university. The reason he won't is because he's the laughingstock of the history department after he's the one so-called accredited historian who claims Jesus never existed. Well, one of two maybe, but the bottom line, there's not an accredited historian anywhere in academia, with save the exception of maybe Richard Carrier and Bob Price, that doesn't think Jesus existed. Now, whether or not he was God, that's a separate question. But that he didn't exist at all, the whole story is legendary. Yeah, that's a crock.
Yeah, and by the way, there's this one line in Progressive Voice's video that he tries to use to back up his claim that, no, Jesus was a communist. He basically he quotes a verse that is talking about that you cannot have both Jehovah and money as your God. You cannot worship both, or something like that. Something like that the verse goes, and he was all like, if that verse is not a verse going against capitalism, well, then I do not know what is. And I'm just thinking to myself, wait, what? What the fuck? Just because I use money and want to give other people the liberty to use their money as they want doesn't mean that I advocate or am doing it myself, worshiping money, for fuck's sake, you stupid dipshit.
Yeah, one more response to Martin Webb. Go read the book Did Jesus Exist by Dr. Bart Ehrman. Ehrman himself is an atheist and a leading historian, and he doesn't even he doesn't take the idea that Jesus never existed seriously at all, so much that he wrote an entire book on the subject.
No, I thought for a second there that Mark Webb character, Martin Webb, was like a was trolling when you said when you I don't know.
No, I just needed a topic to talk about, and that popped up in the. All right, we got about 5 minutes left. Guess I'll.
Have you guys ever heard of a particular song called it's by Dropkick Murphys called they call it Christmas Where I Come From?
No, I haven't heard.
I have not
heard it.
They call this Christmas where I am from. It's a real awesome song. It's more the Grinchy kind of pessimistic songs, singing about how Christmas is overly materialistic and the family is always like very irritable or irritating and whatnot, but it gets like a real nice Celtic background song for it. It's kind of poking fun at some Christmas and family stereotypes. It's a funny song though, and I suggest that anybody who hasn't checked it out go and check it out.
Okay. Actually, anybody read like the I don't even know if I could find it anymore. It would take me a while. But there was last year, I remember I read an article called The Top 10 Worst Christmas Songs of All Time. And it gave a list, but then besides just the songs, it listed why they're the worst songs of all time. Most of them being an analysis of the lyrics. For example, I think number 9 was Mary Did You Know? And they're like, well, of course she did. It's the angel told her. But the one that I thought was hilarious, like number 4 was the song Last Christmas. And the analysis of the lyrics was, why is it that one must give one's heart to someone every Christmas? Further, was last year's recipient not special? Because that might be why it didn't work out.
I got one horrible Christmas song on my list, and that would be Baby It's Cold Outside.
Of course.
I don't think I've heard of that particular one.
You've never heard Baby It's Cold Outside?
No, I have heard of it, but only by name. I haven't actually listened to it.
What about the Australian? Hang on, what about the Australian version? Baby, it's on fire outside.
Right, because
Baby It's Cold Outside.
You're getting the desert heat right now, Pipsqueak.
Well, yeah.
Bushfire, heat wave, flood, huge storm. Beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Yeah,
you are in the southern hemisphere, so this is some of the hottest time of year for Australia, right?
Oh yeah, it's like midsummer right now. We're currently looking forward to big heat wave coming around the next week. So fun! Yay! I'm so glad our air conditioner is working properly.
Tinseltown Queen mentioned Santa Baby as worst Christmas song of all time.
Oh, I that song annoys me. Absolutely annoys me.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. Then there was, I don't think this one ever caught on, but I think it was like 2 years ago, Courtney Stodden, who's a model, released a music video called Mistletoe Bikini. And the whole song was about her seducing Santa Claus because she said, I've always loved the idea of older men buying me presents. That was an awful song.
By the way, how's it like having a hot Christmas, by the way? You don't get to experience snow and warm fireplace with all the rest of the Christmas decorations and all that stuff.
Most people still do Christmas decorations, but it's mostly just lights in the front garden.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that there's still like decorations, but I don't know. There's a certain kind of rustic feel to having a fireplace, like going in the same environment as Christmas decor.
We have what we call Christmas in July.
Oh.
No.
So all that stuff happens in July, especially in the southern states where it gets kind of cold because we're right next to Antarctica.
Wait, are they called states or provinces?
States.
Okay. Are they like?
Well, unless they're not populated enough to be a state, in which case they're just called a territory.
Okay. Are the different areas in China called provinces?
I believe they are.
Yeah, okay. But I do not know the exact governing system of China, but they don't have like their own individual governments or governors, anyways, for those individual
Well, I mean,
provinces.
I believe the provinces do have governors, so to speak, but they're branches of the central. There's only one government. There's no. It's not like there are state and federal governments like in the United States.
I see.
And if I'm not mistaken, the same was true in Australia, right?
Australia. How the hell did we get to this from Christmas in Australia? It's like, wait, what?
I don't know. Darkon, you asked the question.
Sorry. All over the place. It's because you said states, and then I was all like, wait, aren't they called provinces? And then we moved on to talking about Chinese provinces, and I don't know. It's just all over the place. I'm trying to like keep a conversation going, more or less.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we've been going an hour, and clearly we're conversation's starting to swerve into places that are going to get us to rabbit trails that go deeper than Alice in Wonderland. So
you know what these streams need? S-Man to be on with me as well, because Nate here knows of how me and S-Man can really bounce off of each other on subjects of conversation, be it for fun or political.
Mm-hmm. Well, if S-Man is willing to throw in $1 per month, he is willing to join he is welcome to join the stream.
I'm mostly kidding, but it still would happen.
Hey, I'm not.
It was to happen.
Okay, well, on that note, thanks everybody for being here. To all those who support my channel, thank you so much. I love you guys so much for it. There will not be a new video tomorrow, unfortunately, but I will try to get it out early this week. And as always, that's my 2 cents, so take it for what it's worth.
Bye. Good night.
And as always, StreamYard takes forever. As soon as I hit that end broadcast button, it'll probably be like 5 minutes from now when it finally ends the stream. So I'll just keep talking
everyone.
Merry Christmas. I'll just keep talking while I wait for the stream to finally end.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's.